What is up, guys? In this video I'm going to be going over everything you need to know about Fortnite Chapter 6 Season 4. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, comment down below what you think of this season, and if you guys would like to use my creator code in the item shop when getting the Season 4 Battle Pass or any other cosmetics, it is Evolve Jake, and it is underneath the webcam at all times. We're going to be starting off with the map changes for this season. Brutal Boxcars, Flooded Frogs, Pumped Power, Lone Wolf Lair, and Crime City were all removed and replaced with new POIs. Demon's Domain was renamed to Demon's Debris, and this is now an area that has been overtaken by the bugs, but it's still very similar layout-wise to how it was towards the end of last season. The Hive, Swarmy Stash, and Ranger's Ruin were added as new bug-infested POIs. And the OXR HQ is kind of outside where Brutal Boxcars used to be. And this is the main base of the OXR, so it's like a military base POI. And then there are also several OXR outposts around the map which have loot and have OXR crates which have a good chance to give you the Shockwave Launcher, which is an item I really like having. The items we had added to the loot pool in this season, there are several. We have the Hammer AR returning from past Fortnite seasons. The OXR rifle is a new assault rifle added in this update, and this is a more ranged rifle than the Hammer AR, I feel like, but it's still a third-person AR, and it has 21 rounds in the mag. So between the Hammer and the OXR rifle, I'm not quite sure which one I prefer at this point, but they don't seem drastically different. It's not like there's a red dot and a third-person one. There is no red dot ARs in the loot pool currently. The only like sighted weapon are the Deadshot DMR and the Precision SMG returning from last season. The Sweeper shotgun is a new kind of like spammy shotgun. I don't really care for this. It's very inconsistent because the reticle of it is like very wide, similar to what we had with the Chrome shotgun in the past. And so you kind of really need to be barrel stuffing your opponent, I feel like, to be getting consistent damage out of this. And I just personally didn't really care for it. The Wrecker Revolver, I think, is going to be a lot of people's favorite weapon or favorite new item added this season. This is a shotgun pistol hybrid weapon. It's classified as a pistol, but think of it as a shotgun. It uses shotgun shells. It shoots a spread of pellets like a shotgun. It has a lot of range for what you would expect for a shotgun and a solid fire rate. And when you aim in, the damage can actually get really consistent. And as I said, this is going to be a lot of people's favorite weapon because it's very good. It can hit very hard. It has solid range for a shotgun, and you can actually use this to double pump since the game doesn't classify it as a shotgun. So you can swap between this and the Sentinel pump back and forth with no shot delay or no 1.5 second cooldown, or you could do double Wrecker Revolver if you wanted to. When streaming today, I had some people tell me they don't really like using revolvers. It plays much more like a shotgun than it actually does a revolver. The Stinger SMG is returning from past. The Bug Blaster is a new bug weapon that you can, shoot quickly or charge up to get a harder hitting shot if you want. The Lead Spitter 3000 minigun was added. The Shockwave Launcher was added back into the loot pool, and this is just a regular loot item. There's a purple and a gold version. There's several on the map. It's not like a mythic like we had in the past. I was seemingly pretty consistently getting these out of the OXR chests, which are just like the henchman chest with the OXR logo on it that can be found around the map. And this is a very good mobility item because it goes off your rocket ammo. The Swarm Strike rocket launcher is the rocket launcher they added this season. And this, I think I got hit for almost 250 damage when someone shot this at my car today. So it can hit incredibly hard and do a lot of damage. The Super Launchpad is a launch pad that sends you further or sends you higher. The Chug Splash was re-added. The Crash Pad Jr. was re-added. The Flowberry Fizz was re-added, and the Slurp Juice was re-added. There's the purple and the gold versions. You get the gold versions by defeating the bosses at the new POIs. Returning, we had the Sentinel Pump, the Fury AR, the Burst Pistol, the DMR, the Precision SMG. For vaulted items, we have all of the hero items, exotic, boons, and medallions from last season. So as I said, all the hero items, all the exotic weapons last season, all the boons for last season, and all the medallions from last season. Loot Island is currently not a thing this season. Maybe that will change later on, but there is no island that spawns throughout the course of the game, which I'm very happy about. The Spire AR was removed. The Surge Fire SMG was removed. The Crypto Treat was removed. The Chug Jug was removed. The Medmis Grenade was removed, and the Shield Bubble Juniors were also removed. As of right now, the main mobility items are going to be the Shockwave Grenades and the Shockwave Launcher. And with how this season plays, I have never had an easier time finding shockwaves. It feels like the spawn rate of shockwaves is incredibly high. A lot of the like higher tier loot you can find around the map seemingly pretty consistently gives you shockwaves, and the drops that you get from ranking up your hero rank or OXR rank also can give you a lot of shockwaves. So I know a lot of people are kind of unhappy whenever shockwaves are the main mobility because it's more limited, but they are very plentiful this season. And as I said, there's also the shockwave launcher, which goes off your rocket ammo, so you can have a lot of uses of that. There are more bosses and mythics and medallions this season. The boss POIs are going to be the Hive, Demon's Debris, and Ranger Ruins. To summon the boss, you need to go to the POI and clear out a lot of bugs. There will be a bar of how many like bugs you have to eliminate, basically. The pods that they come out of will deteriorate this percentage a lot. And when you do enough of this, the queen will spawn. And when you eliminate the queen, she will drop a medallion and a mythic weapon. The Hive has the medallion, which gives you an improved slide. You can basically slide in any direction. You slide faster, and I believe this improves your base movement speed as well. And then she also has the Mythic Wrecker Revolver Pistol. So I personally didn't really like this slide medallion. I know a lot of people do, but I feel like as of right now, it was throwing me off more than it was helping me. But as the season goes on and as I get more used to it, you know, I will probably be better at using it. It'll be less of a problem. The Demon's Debris has the double jump medallion and a mythic OXR rifle. If I had to pick any of the boss POIs that were my favorite, this one definitely was, because the double jump medallion is incredibly good. As the name implies, you just can jump twice, and this is really good when comboing with your mobility. This is really good in close range fights because you can kind of just spam jump over your opponent and really throw their aim off. And with the added range that the Wrecker Revolver Pistol has, you can kind of just be in air around your opponent for a decent amount of time and just be tapping them down with the revolver. And then the mythic OXR rifle I also quite liked. Ranger's Ruin has the shield medallion. This regenerates your shield up to 50 and gives you 50 siphon on eliminations. I didn't get to test whether or not this gives only white health siphon or shield as well. And then this boss also will drop the mythic sweeper shotgun, which, as I said, I'm not really a fan of. So my favorite medallion in Mythic is definitely the double jump medallion and Mythic OXR rifle from Demon's Debris. The medallions this season are interesting because having only 2 of them basically makes your zone reveal incredibly precise. So I'm not sure what I will be doing this season. As I said, I don't really like the slide medallion. The shield medallion is good, but it's not everything to me. The fact that the downside for reveal is much higher than it has been in the past if you have at least 2. I could see myself maybe only using the double jump medallion. That way I get that benefit, but not also the absurd zone reveal of having 2. But as I said, that's something that I kind of have to think about. OXR ranks are the new hero ranks for this season, and you get loot dropped to you as you rank up. And these pods are marked for you, but they're not actually on the map, and they do come down rather quickly. You get loot and boons from the drops, and at A rank, you will get a lot of shockwaves in your drops, which is really nice. At S+, you will get a drop that gives you a mythic weapon, and from my understanding, the possible mythics are the Mythic Havoc Pump, the Overclocked Pulse Rifle, the Sky Scar, and then there may be another mythic that I'm forgetting. I actually wasn't able to get S+ today, despite winning several games. It is much harder to rank up this season than it was last season. I wasn't really consistently going to the boss POIs or the bug areas though, and the bugs give you some points when you eliminate them, and then doing things like eliminating the boss or like clearing the infestations do give you a good amount of points, but you no longer get points for just like zones or for like surviving storms. It needs to be from like eliminating players or eliminating the bugs. So it's less passive than it was last season. And overall, it seems like a lot of players are having a harder time getting to, you know, S and S+. There are these new shops on the map. They have a logo similar to the black market, and you can just go in here and buy loot. It's pretty expensive, and from my experience, there's not any sort of like special items here, like how the black markets had like special mythics and special exotics. Doesn't seem like that's the case with these shops, so I personally didn't really care for them very much. All the boons from last season were removed, as I said, but we do have new boons. You can get these from the OXR chests, the hive stacks, and the drop pods. The agile aiming boon reduces your spread and recoil when aimed in, and it also increases your aimed in movement speed, so you'll move a little bit faster when strafing. The extended mag boon increases your mag size on all weapons. On shotguns, this seemed to be about 1 shot, and on ARs, it seemed to be about like 5 additional shots per mag. but it does seem to vary somewhat weapon to weapon. But I'm just kind of giving you this example to show that it's like a little bit of ammo. It's not like an absurd increase to your mag size. It's just a little bit. So it's nice, but it's not like game changing. It's not like your hammer AR is suddenly going to have like 50 rounds like the Spire AR. It just has a little bit more. There is storm forecast boons this season that give you zone reveal similar to the forecast towers in the past, but it's not actually from the ways that you normally get boons. You need to go and defend a store from bugs to get it, and there's 2 per game. So there will be a logo on the map that's like a little crab bug icon. It can vary which shops are under attack game to game, but you need to go here, clear out 20 bugs, and then when you do that, you will get a drop that comes down, and then from this drop, you will get the storm forecast boon, some loot, and some gold. So that is going to be pretty nice, and if you do want to get forecast, you're probably going to want to take advantage of that. These super soldier boons are the one that scales with your OXR rank, and you get these out of the OXR drop pods. At B rank, your sprinting uses less stamina. At A rank, your reload speed is increased. At S rank, your weapon spread and recoil is reduced. And then at S plus, you sprint faster and have unlimited stamina. But as I said, you know, getting to S and S plus rank this season is much more difficult than it was last season. So it's not like when it comes to end game, everybody is going to be running around with unlimited stamina. It seemed like last season it was very easy to get S plus. That isn't the case, at least as of now. This is definitely something that could change at some point in the future. And then the next thing I'm going to talk about is going to be the exotic weapons this season, because there are several exotics added, and the way you get them is quite different. So at A tier, you will be able to open the OXR bunkers, which have an exotic weapon inside as well as other additional loot. These will be marked on your map once you reach A rank. And from my experience, there are 2 exotic bunkers per game, but this could be something that varies game to game. Like maybe some matches only have 1, some have 2. I'm not too sure, but in my experience, it was 2. And the exotic you get is also random. It's not like each bunker has the set exotic. It's random game to game which exotics spawn in which bunkers. And I believe you will be able to open multiple bunkers per game if you are A rank. The exotic OXR rifle gets increased damage for subsequent hits on enemies. I was not able to use this one. The double trouble shotgun are 2 pump shotgun, which actually have like quite solid stats, and they allow you to swap from them to another shotgun with no shooting delay, allowing you to double pump. You can alternate between the shotguns, or you can shoot this and then swap to a sentinel pump with no delay. I believe once you swap back to the exotic, you would get the delay, but they're 2 weapons that, you know, take up 2 inventory slots on their own. You can use both of them, or you could choose to use just one. And they also give you siphon as you hit an enemy. If you have 1 in your inventory, you will get 8 siphon per hit on enemy. And if you have 2 in your inventory, you will get 16 siphon per hit on enemy. So you'll get 16 health back once you hit enemy. And this is something that can definitely add up over the course of the fight, especially if you are going to be consistently double pumping and swapping back and forth between them. The shock and slowdown shockwave launcher shoots shockwaves that cause a mid-air slowdown effect. I believe this is bugged and you can't actually get it right now. If it spawns in your bunker, you just can't have it, but that will probably be fixed at some point. The Marksman Wrecker Revolver has lower base damage, like not the greatest base damage for the Wrecker Revolver, but it has a higher fire rate and headshot multiplier when hip fired, so it can be better if used properly maybe, but that's definitely something that I think will take some time diving into the stats to really learn. And the final exotic is going to be the exotic Slapberry Fizz. This is Flowberry Fizz that gives you unlimited stamina for a period of time, in addition to the Flowberry like low gravity effect. And this also heals both white health and shield, similar to like what the Chug Jug does, where it'll heal white health first and then shield, and it has 300 health that it can give you per item you find. So that is the exotic. You have to get to A tier to open the bunker. Which exotic you get is random. Hopefully you get the one you actually want for going to the bunker. And with the bunkers being a mid-match objective, a lot of people are probably going to be going for them. So, you know, getting in and getting out quickly is something you're going to want to do. But that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you found this helpful, informative, or interesting. Just wanted to quickly go over the basic changes for this season. Obviously, I will have more in-depth videos in the coming days. As always, if you guys did enjoy this, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.